Here is the English translation of the provided Chinese text. Briefing, summary of multiple articles. November 30, 2024 briefing, highlights from the New York Times. 1. Tennis player Swiatek faces doping violation *. Swiatek tested positive for trace amounts of the banned substance trimetazidine in a urine test on August 12, leading to a 1-month suspension imposed by the International Tennis Integrity Agency, ITIA. Swiatek explained that the positive result was due to taking contaminated melatonin and that she did not intentionally use the banned substance. The ITIA accepted her explanation, ruling it an inadvertent mistake. On September 20, Swiatek announced her withdrawal from the China Open, citing personal reasons, later revealing the doping violation, which sparked public skepticism and dissatisfaction. 2. Tennis player Sinner's doping case *. Sinner tested positive for the banned substance clostebol during the Indian Wells tournament in March and in an out-of-competition test on March 18. The ITIA found no fault or negligence on Sinner's part, thus not imposing a suspension. However, the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, appealed, seeking to increase Sinner's fault level. Throughout the investigation and hearing process, Sinner did not explain any circumstances to the public, leading to dissatisfaction and skepticism. 3. Summary *. Both doping cases expose issues within the anti-doping system in tennis, including insufficient transparency and unclear punishment standards. Communication between athletes, anti-doping agencies, and the media needs to be more open and transparent to enhance public trust. Developing more reasonable doping management rules to better balance athlete rights and the integrity of sports is also a key issue to address in the future. November 30, 2024 briefing. Theme: The legacy and challenges of the Trump era. Key information points *. 1. Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb warned that if Robert Kennedy Jr. is appointed as Secretary of Health and Human Services, it could lead to a decline in vaccination rates, resulting in outbreaks of diseases such as measles, mumps, and rubella, and potentially the re-emergence of polio in the U.S. 2. During the Trump administration, Texas Republican leaders significantly strengthened anti-immigration policies, including launching Operation Lone Star to enhance border control and transporting immigrants to other states, becoming a testing ground for the future mass deportation of immigrants by the Trump administration. 3. The Syrian civil war has taken a new turn, with the extremist group Liberation of Syria Committee launching an offensive, entering Aleppo for the first time and engaging in fierce battles with the Syrian government forces. This could trigger a new round of military conflict. 4. Trump delivered a hostile and divisive speech on Thanksgiving, drawing strong criticism from both parties and the public, highlighting his inability to resolve political divisions in the U.S. Summary *. The legacy of the Trump era poses significant challenges for the Biden administration. In key areas such as vaccination, immigration policy, and the situation in the Middle East, the actions of the Trump administration could lead to severe negative consequences. Additionally, Trump failed to deliver a unifying and inclusive speech on Thanksgiving, further exacerbating societal divisions in the U.S. The Biden administration needs to carefully address these lingering issues and strive to mend conflicts and restore social cohesion in America. Briefing *. According to the Wall Street Journal, XAI CEO Elon Musk plans to launch a standalone Grok chatbot application to compete with other AI chatbots such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic's Claude. The Grok mobile application will likely utilize the Grok 2 model, offering conversational capabilities similar to ChatGPT, with added real-time information from X. Currently, Grok is only available on the web and requires a subscription to X Premium or Premium Plus services. The launch of a mobile application may change this limitation, providing a limited free version. XAI has sufficient funding to support the development of the application and enhance Grok's availability. As one of the few competitors to OpenAI, XAI has the opportunity to attract users. The standalone Grok application could allow those not engaged with the X social media platform to access the AI chatbot. However, Grok will face fierce competition in the mobile application market from ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and other AI chatbots. XAI also needs to address Grok's appeal after separating from the X platform. Additionally, Grok's lax attitude towards copyright and trademark issues may pose risks. Overall, Grok's entry into mobile devices represents a significant strategy for XAI, but it still faces numerous challenges. Briefing *. On November 30, 2024, a coalition of major news publishers in Canada, including the Canadian Press, Torstar, The Globe and Mail, Postmedia, and CBC/Radio Canada, filed a lawsuit against OpenAI. They accuse OpenAI of using a large amount of Canadian media content to train its ChatGPT AI system without permission, infringing copyright. This is the first case of its kind in Canada, but there have been several similar lawsuits in the US. Some news organizations have chosen to cooperate with OpenAI, signing licensing agreements to receive compensation for using news content to train AI systems. The Canadian government has passed legislation requiring Google and Meta to compensate news publishers for using their content, but it remains unclear whether this law applies to AI systems. In response, Meta has chosen to withdraw its news services in Canada, while Google has reached a 100 million Canadian dollars, approximately $71 million US, agreement with Canadian news organizations. Overall, the development of AI technology poses challenges for the news industry, with copyright protection and fair compensation issues needing urgent resolution. The ongoing struggle between news publishers and tech companies continues. Briefing *. The 2024 World Chess Championship is currently in full swing. Chinese player Ding Liren and Indian rising star Gyuxi Di are currently tied 2-2 in their championship match taking place in Singapore, which consists of 14 games. Ding won the first game, but Gyuxi made a comeback in the third game, showcasing his strong skills and preparation. The fourth game ended in a draw, which is beneficial for both players. Ding can adjust his mindset, while Gyuxi can prepare for the upcoming games where he will have 2 opportunities to play with the white pieces, which could be a good chance for him to take the lead. Meanwhile, there is a surge of interest in chess in the UK. Important events such as the 4NCL League, London Chess Classic, and FIDE Masters are underway, providing young British players with opportunities to showcase their talents. Additionally, the article mentions the shortlisted words for the 2024 Oxford Dictionary Word of the Year, most of which are related to the Internet, reflecting the emerging vocabulary trends in contemporary society. Overall, these articles comprehensively cover the current hot topics in the chess world, including the intense competition of the World Championship, the flourishing development of chess in the UK, and new trends in linguistics, providing rich content and substantial information. Briefing, Time Magazine. 1. The documentary series, Know Your Era, showcases the various challenges and difficulties faced by reporters from the Times and the Sunday Times in reporting the truth, including receiving death threats, fighting corruption, and exposing lies. These documentaries highlight the dedication and courage of journalists. 2. Japanese clothing retailer Uniqlo has transformed from a regional company into a global brand with over 2,500 stores and sales exceeding 3 trillion yen over the past 40 years. Founder Tadashi Yanai stated that while time has flown by, the company's development has not been smooth, having gone through difficult periods of expansion. 3. The University of Southern California, USC, has had a mediocre season with only 6 wins, but they still successfully qualified for a bowl game. Although they could not achieve the expected results, making it to the bowl game again is still a good outcome. USC needs to improve further next season, especially in defense and the quarterback position. 4. Trump recently demanded an apology from the New York Times for years of negative coverage, claiming the paper writes fake news. The New York Times responded that its reporting has always been fair and accurate, with no distinction between good or bad, only truthful reporting. Overall, these articles cover various fields, including the challenges in journalism, corporate development, sports events, and political maneuvering, reflecting many hot topics in contemporary society. Briefing *. Ukrainian President Zelensky stated that to end the war, Ukraine might temporarily relinquish territory in exchange for NATO protection. This represents a significant shift in his position, as Ukraine had previously stated it would continue fighting until it restored its internationally recognized borders. In London, some top private schools were forced to retract advertisements claiming no tuition fees, as this could be misleading. The advertisements have now been changed to top independent schools can be free, with relevant terms and conditions attached. Additionally, actor Rupert Grint lost a case regarding the Beatles clause, being ordered to pay over £1.8 million in taxes to the tax authority. This was because he converted future television and DVD sales income into capital gains to reduce his income tax liability. The court ruled that this practice constituted tax evasion. Overall, these articles cover the latest developments in the Ukraine war, the controversy over advertisements by private schools in the UK, and a tax dispute involving a well-known actor. These pieces of information hold significant news value and social impact. Briefing: the current situation in Catalunya, Valencia province, 1 month after severe flooding. On October 29, 2024, Valencia province experienced severe flooding, resulting in 222 deaths, 4 missing persons, and extensive damage to homes, shops, schools, and other facilities. The article focuses on the recovery situation in Catalunya, specifically on Blasco Ibáñez Avenue, 1 month after the disaster. Key information points *. 1 month later, the street remains in ruins, with sewage and mud everywhere, most shops closed, and schools unable to operate normally. 2. The local government and rescue forces have responded slowly, leaving residents feeling abandoned and desperate. Many have suffered severe psychological trauma and are experiencing depression. 3. Besides the street itself, the overall recovery progress in Catalunya is also slow, with 170 underground garages still flooded, 30% of streetlights not functioning, and many shops and schools unable to operate normally. 4. There is a lack of effective coordination between the local government and higher authorities, with insufficient rescue resources leading to slow recovery efforts. Residents are calling for more systemic support and assistance. 5. Although there are some signs of recovery, overall, Catalunya remains in a stagnant state, with a long way to go before returning to normal life. Overall, the article vividly describes the immense destruction caused by a natural disaster in a small town and the numerous difficulties faced by the local government and residents in the recovery process. It highlights key information points and succinctly summarizes the content of the article, achieving the required balance. Angela Merkel's memoir, Freedom, A Legendary Life from East Germany to Chancellor of Germany. November 30, 2024. Main content *. 1. In her memoir, Merkel recounts her extraordinary journey from a researcher in East Germany to Chancellor of Germany. She learned to cautiously hide her true thoughts during her time in East Germany, a trait that played a crucial role in her later political career. 2. As Chancellor, Merkel faced a series of crises, including the Eurozone debt crisis and the tense US-EU relations during the Trump era. Although her cautious style was criticized, she still achieved significant accomplishments and was hailed as the Chancellor of the Free World. 3. In her memoir, Merkel offers sharp comments on some foreign leaders, such as Putin and Trump. She believes that these authoritarian-leaning leaders often attract the attention of the German public, posing challenges to her policy implementation. 4. While Merkel's decisions faced some criticism, the article points out that many of the issues she faced were not solely her fault, but rather challenges common to Western democracies. Her memoir provides valuable insights into contemporary German politics. Overall, this is a vivid memoir documenting Merkel's legendary life, reflecting her rapid rise after growing up in East Germany and becoming Germany's long-serving chancellor. The article provides a comprehensive and objective evaluation of her political style and decisions, offering readers an opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of contemporary German politics. November 30, 2024 Briefing. Theme: Süddeutsche Zeitung. Key information * 1. Starting from the 2023-24 academic year, product ratings will transition from a 1 to 5 Likert scale to a 1 to 6 school grading system. 2. The Kidgu Sport High Chair boasts the highest safety and technical standards, suitable for active parents and residents in rural areas. 3. Former German Chancellor Merkel's new autobiography, Freedom, has been released, causing a sensation at a signing event at the Dussmann bookstore in Berlin, with 35,000 copies sold out on the first day. 4. In an interview, Merkel stated that Germany is not in an ideal state after her departure, but some still believe she bears responsibility for certain crises. 5. Süddeutsche Zeitung offers various secure and reliable channels for reporting information, including SecureDrop, encrypted emails, and encrypted messaging apps. Summary ***. Süddeutsche Zeitung reported on the sensation caused by Merkel's new autobiography release, as well as changes in the product rating system and recommendations for new children's high chairs. The newspaper also introduced its secure and reliable information reporting channels, providing readers with multiple reporting options. The entire article is rich in content, highlighting key information points and reflecting the professional standards of Süddeutsche Zeitung. November 30, 2024 briefing. Manufacturing activity expands for 2 consecutive months. China's official Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, for November is 50.3, up from 50.1 in October, marking the second consecutive month in the expansion zone and the highest level in 7 months. Both the production index and new orders index have risen, indicating continued improvement in manufacturing production and demand. Manufacturers remain optimistic about future operations. However, the non-manufacturing PMI fell from 50.2 in October to 50.0 in November, while the services PMI remained flat at 50.1. The composite PMI is 50.8, unchanged from October. Relaxation of visa restrictions for Shenzhen residents traveling to Hong Kong. China has relaxed visa restrictions for Shenzhen residents traveling to Hong Kong, allowing them to enter Hong Kong multiple times a year starting December 1, with each stay not exceeding 7 days. Previously, Shenzhen residents could only enter and exit Hong Kong once a week. This move aims to curb cross-border trade activities. The policy relaxation will benefit Hong Kong's retail, dining, and other tourism-related industries. Visa restrictions for Zhuhai residents traveling to Macau have also been eased, allowing them to enter once a week starting January 1, with each stay not exceeding 7 days. Overview of North Korea's situation. North Korea has a population of approximately 26 million, with citizens educated to worship their leaders as deities. The country's culture and economy are highly isolated, with many suffering from malnutrition and poverty. Most North Koreans work daily in farms, factories, and the capital Pyongyang, but there is little information about their daily lives from the outside world. November 30, 2024 briefing. 1. Hiroshima Peace Education Legacy. Tsunami Abe, a teacher at Hiroshima Sanbashi Junior High School and a leader of the Japan Atomic Bomb Survivors Association, has consistently called for a world without nuclear weapons. Abe discovered an old notebook at school listing the names of students who perished in the 1945 atomic bombing. Under Abe's guidance, students interviewed the families of 52 victims and compiled the information into a book, which has become an important educational resource for peace. This educational material is still in use today, proving to be a more valuable learning resource than visiting the atomic bomb dome. 2. Japanese political dynamics. The Constitutional Democratic Party and the Democratic Party for the People have differing attitudes on how to respond to the ruling coalition. The Constitutional Democratic Party takes a more confrontational stance, while the Democratic Party for the People is willing to negotiate with the Liberal Democratic Party and Komeito. The two parties have disagreements on issues such as amending political funding management laws, making future cooperation uncertain. 3. Astronomical new discoveries. When the Voyager 2 probe visited Uranus in 1986, it encountered a solar storm event that led to deviations in the observations of Uranus's magnetic field. New research suggests that if the probe had visited a week earlier, it would have observed a magnetic field similar to those of Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. The lack of plasma in Uranus's magnetic field may be due to temporary changes caused by the solar storm event. Future missions to Uranus are needed to better understand this mysterious outer planet. November 30, 2024 briefing. 1. Japan to allow over-the-counter drug sales in convenience stores and vending machines. Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare will allow over-the-counter drugs to be sold in convenience stores without the presence of a pharmacist. Consumers will only need to conduct an online consultation to purchase with a verification certificate. This initiative aims to ensure access to over-the-counter medications in areas lacking pharmacists and during late-night and early morning hours. Currently, only 0.7% of convenience stores sell medications. 2. Harry Potter theme park recovers replicas of Gryffindor sword. The operator of the Tokyo Harry Potter theme park has recovered 351 replicas of the Gryffindor sword, as these replicas are classified as swords under Japanese law and require registration. 3. Tokyo Electric Power Company to collect melted nuclear fuel samples again from Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. Tokyo Electric Power Company plans to conduct a second operation to collect radioactive debris samples from reactor number 2. The previously collected 0.7 gram sample was too small for thorough analysis. 4. New Jeans member announces departure from agency ADOR. A member of New Jeans stated that upon leaving ADOR, they would be free to pursue their true interests and hope to release new music for fans soon, but may not be able to continue using the group name. This briefing comprehensively summarizes the content of multiple articles, highlighting the most valuable information points while succinctly summarizing the article's overall content, achieving the required balance. November 30, 2024 briefing. Theme: Sydney Morning Herald. 1. The charity organization Movember's annual fundraising event, MO, Wreath in a Run, was successfully held with over 6,000 participants worldwide. The event aims to raise awareness of men's health issues, including anxiety disorders and rising suicide rates. Since its inception in 2021, the event has raised over $2 million. 2. A family property renovation project in Melbourne's Toorak district saw architects cleverly retain the solid foundation of the original building while incorporating modern elements to create a well-lit family home. 3. In 2015, a man discovered a rare meteorite in the Maribyrnong area of Victoria, and after years of research, scientists confirmed it to be a 17-kilogram H5 ordinary chondrite, one of only 17 known meteorites in Victoria, rarer than gold. 4. The Australian cricket team performed poorly in the first test match against India, with concerns raised over the declining form of veterans like Smith and Khawaja. Cricket Australia CEO Nick Hockley stated that despite losses over the past 3 years, visits from India and England will bring substantial revenue to Cricket Australia. 5. Despite the rain, the 2024 Thanksgiving Day Parade proceeded as scheduled, attracting hundreds of thousands of spectators. The parade featured new Spider-Man and Minnie Mouse balloons, along with various exciting performances, showcasing the charm of this century-old tradition. Briefing on ongoing Canada Post strike amid holiday season concerns. Over 55,000 Canada Post employees began striking on November 15, with no end in sight. The special mediator appointed by the federal government has temporarily halted mediation, with both sides far apart on key issues. The postal company has begun temporarily laying off striking employees, which may be illegal. During the suspension of postal services, the public can use other courier services, but prices may be higher, especially in remote areas. Economic growth slows. Canadian Central Bank may further cut interest rates. GDP growth in the third quarter was only 1%, below the central bank's forecast of 1.5%. Preliminary GDP data for October indicates growth of only 0.1%, suggesting fourth quarter growth will also fall short of expectations. Financial markets anticipate the central bank will significantly cut rates by 50 basis points at its December meeting. Although consumer spending and housing investment performed well, a significant decline in business investment offset these positive factors. Major Canadian media groups sue OpenAI for copyright infringement. 5 major media companies have sued OpenAI for illegally using their content to train AI models. This is the first case of its kind in Canada, similar to several cases in the US. OpenAI claims its models are trained on publicly available data and comply with fair use principles. This case could result in OpenAI facing billions of dollars in damages. Overall, this briefing covers hot topics such as the Canada Post strike, economic growth slowdown, and the OpenAI copyright dispute, highlighting the most valuable information points while succinctly summarizing the article's overall content, achieving a good balance. Briefing content *. November 30, 2024. Israel-Lebanon conflict *. The U.S. has proposed a ceasefire agreement and is awaiting a response from the Israeli government. The EU's foreign policy chief has called on both the Israeli government and Hezbollah to accept this proposal. Recently, Israel launched airstrikes on Lebanon, resulting in at least 29 deaths. Over 1 million people have been displaced in Lebanon. Israel claims the invasion is to ensure the safety of 10,000 residents in northern Israel. Israeli media reports that Israel is working towards a ceasefire agreement, but several issues remain unresolved. Australia's climate and clean energy policy *. Emissions have decreased, but the rate of decline is still insufficient. The government needs to reduce emissions by an additional 15 million tons annually to achieve the goal of a 43% reduction by 2030. Renewable energy is rapidly developing, with projections indicating that renewable energy will account for 45% of total electricity generation next year. Household electricity bills are expected to decrease by 70%. The progress of industrial emissions reductions is slow, with expected declines of only 13% and 46% by 2030 and 2040, respectively. The carbon offset mechanism remains controversial. Newly approved coal and gas projects will increase emissions by 21 million tons before 2030. The Labour Party's climate policy has not been fully implemented but is expected to help Australia achieve its 2030 reduction targets. Briefing content * 1. Murder case in Brussels, Belgium *. On November 7, two 18-year-old men allegedly stabbed a 25-year-old Singaporean student in downtown Brussels. The two suspects have been arrested and their detention extended. The victim, Arvind Pillai, held a memorial service at his home in Singapore on November 10 and was cremated the following day. 2. Leicester City appoints Van Nistelrooy as new head coach *. Former Manchester United assistant coach Ruud van Nistelrooy has been appointed as Leicester City's head coach, signing a contract until June 2027. Van Nistelrooy expressed confidence in the club and looks forward to leading the team to success. Leicester City previously dismissed head coach Cooper, with the team ranked 16th in the league, just 1 point above the relegation zone. 3. Palworld game to release major update in December *. The game will introduce a large mysterious island approximately 6 times larger than the last update, filled with powerful tower bosses and fierce new PAL creatures. The game is currently enjoying a 25% discount during the Steam Autumn Sale. In 2025, it will collaborate with the game Terraria. 4. Aleppo airport closure amid anti-government forces seizing city *. Intense fighting has erupted between Syrian government forces and anti-government groups in Aleppo, resulting in at least 27 civilian deaths. Russia has promised additional military aid to the Syrian government to counter the anti-government offensive. Turkey has expressed a desire to avoid further turmoil in the region and warned that recent attacks undermine de-escalation agreements. Briefing on multiple articles *. November 30, 2024 briefing. 1. Suicide case of Indian airline pilot *. 25-year-old pilot Shrishti Tuli committed suicide at her home in Mumbai. Police have arrested Tuli's boyfriend, a Diffier pundit, accusing him of inciting her suicide. Authorities need to recover deleted WhatsApp chat records between the two from pundit's phone for further clues. 2. Heavy rainfall in northern India *. Due to cyclone Fengal set to make landfall near Puducherry, several areas in North Tamil Nadu are experiencing heavy rain and strong winds. To ensure safety, schools and businesses in multiple regions have temporarily closed, and public transport has been adjusted. 3. Persecution of Christian minority in India *. Anti-conversion laws are being misused, leading to violence and harassment against Christians. Courts have ruled that in some cases, the police and accusers are the true culprits. Christian groups plan to meet with senior Modi government officials to demand the repeal of these controversial laws. 4. Irish general election *. Exit polls indicate that the three major parties have similar vote shares, and a coalition government is expected to be formed. Final results will take hours to days to be fully confirmed. Overall, these articles address multiple hot issues within Indian society, including religious conflicts, extreme weather events, and a notable suicide case. The briefing highlights key information regarding these issues, providing readers with a comprehensive yet concise overview. Briefing summarizing multiple articles *. Temporary ceasefire agreement in Israel-Lebanon conflict. November 30, 2024. Key points *. 1. The US and France mediated a 2-month ceasefire agreement approved by the Israeli government, aimed at ending the prolonged cross-border conflict between Israel and Hezbollah that has lasted over a year. 2. The agreement requires Hezbollah to withdraw from southern Lebanon, while Israeli forces will retreat to within the borderline. Thousands of Lebanese troops and UN peacekeepers will be deployed south of the Litani River, monitored by an international group led by the US. 3. Israel insists on retaining the right to act if Hezbollah violates the agreement, but Lebanese officials refuse to include this in the agreement. The Israeli Prime Minister stated that if UN peacekeepers fail to enforce the agreement, Israeli forces will strike Hezbollah. 4. Hezbollah has expressed willingness to give the ceasefire agreement a chance, but emphasized that it must not come at the expense of Lebanon's sovereignty. 5. This agreement alleviates tensions between Israel and Lebanon but does not directly resolve the more lethal ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict in Gaza. Hamas continues to engage separately with Israel. 6. Israel has achieved significant victories in this conflict, including the elimination of several high-ranking Hezbollah leaders. However, Hezbollah's ground resistance has hindered the progress of Israeli forces. Overall, this ceasefire agreement provides both sides with a respite, but the fundamental contradictions in the Middle East remain unresolved.